Hi guys, welcome to Talk with Pex. Good talk, fresh vibes. I am Atene Peculiar, and with me in the studio today is someone I have utmost respect for. He is one of the baddest guys in tech, the CEO of Touch Enterprises, and the founder of Fluid Minds. This guy right here is doing big, big things. So join me and give it up for Destiny Ajakaiye. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're
It's
welcome.
nice to be here.
So, what is one thing that you think you are terrible at?
Hmm. So yeah, I think that's a very important question. Yeah. I'm terrible at patience
Mm,
because I'm a person that I'm that guy that whenever we are whenever we are dressed up to go somewhere, I'm that guy that is always you know shouting at everybody, be fast, be fast, be fast, be fast. So I would say my level of patience is very very low.
mm,
I'm not patient at all,
mm.
right? So I think that's one of it's. I can say it's relative, but I think for me mm, it's not really a good thing. So yeah, that's what I would say. Patience. My level of patience is very 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 low.
Yeah, okay. So, how has being bad at something helped you to appreciate you or improve your strength?
So yeah, I will still use patience. So like I said, patience is one of my weak points. I'm very low at patience. So that itself has helped me improve in every areas of my life. I'll give you an instance.
Mm,
Because of my impatient kind of character or nature, um, I've I have seen myself like getting things done like quickly.
mm,
So I'm kind of person that I don't like seeing things around me or done. So that's urgency to get stuff done, like move to the next thing. Oh, this thing is on your plate,
mm.
get it done. Like that whole patient, impatient kind of attitude has dropped off on my professional life as well. So yeah, I would say patience is still a key factor in when you
Yeah.
when you talk about yeah.
Okay. So when you work on an idea, what is it that keeps you going when you feel like things are not working like you want them to? What do you feel keeps you going? And can you like share an experience of like a situation where you felt like you were working on something, you had an idea you wanted to work on, and things were not going the way you planned? What keeps you going? What motivates you to keep trying?
So yeah, that's a very interesting question. So for me as a person, I'm always concerned about the end goal, like the big picture,
Mm,
right? So my life is structured with a bigger picture. So whatever I do is as a result of what I see as the big picture.
yeah.
So talking about like projects and a whole lot of that, what keeps me going is the big picture. So let me give you an instance. This is not necessarily my experience, but I think it might help the audience to understand what I'm trying to explain.
Mm,
Where let's say, for example, you see yourself in a building, finished building. I mean, you can see yourself in a finished building, beautiful space, everybody's happy, and then that's like a big picture.
yeah.
Then now zoom out of that picture and come back to reality. You find yourself in a space where you are working on a project that might potentially take you to that
That's
picture that you're
picture.
seeing,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So for me, the big picture is what keeps me going
Mm,
in the times where I have challenges. I mean,
mm,
there are a lot of things I've faced in life that that ordinarily would have derailed me, but like I said, the bigger picture has always kept me going. Like
mm,
I've always seen myself. No, okay, let me give you like an example. Right,
mm,
when I started my career at first as a software developer,
mm,
I've always seen myself, or I've always wanted to be among the best. Like I've always wanted to be regarded to as world class,
Mm.
even
Yeah.
from um, a place like Nigeria. Obviously, you can say let's say 6 7 years ago, nobody will ever believe that people can work remotely from Nigeria, like as a software engineer. Like
Mm.
that was what we were seeing then.
Mm.
So when I started my career, I had that goal. Like the bigger picture was to be regarded as world class. So what I usually do is I will like check out what does it take to be a world class software engineer. Do you understand? So this big picture has helped my career so far.
Yeah.
So even if I'm going through a patch, most
Mm.
times I get to remind myself, come on, you cannot get to that place that you want to get to if you cannot, if you are not willing to pass through the struggle. Because I'm someone who believe struggle is part
It's
of
part of the
life. Like
process. Yes.
you don't get to the next point without going through a struggle.
Yeah.
A struggle is like it's like a big blow for the next point in your life.
Mm.
Do you understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me, what gets me going um, is particularly like seeing that big picture, like having that picture. For my own, it was like being regarded as a world
As world
class
class.
software engineer.
Yeah, that's actually quite impressive. So, what is one industry you think a lot of people are sleeping on right now?
I mean, I don't want to be biased because I'm currently on the tech space, but I still feel, regardless of what is going on. I mean, there has been a lot of people are beginning to embrace technology, but I still feel a lot of people are still sleeping
Sleeping.
on it.
Yeah. Mm.
And if you watch a lot of my video, I I get to talk about this a lot of time because it means a lot to me,
Mm.
right? Because I understand what technology has done for me.
Mm.
Do you get? So
Yeah.
when I see young people, complaining of this and that, complaining of lack of opportunity, or complaining of not having enough money or not
Mm.
having money at all,
Mm.
I'll be thinking like, why can't this person just see the opportunity that is in
That's
tech
right.
and go into
Yeah.
it? So I think tech is still that industry that a lot of people are sleeping on. People
Mm.
are people are over what's the word? I mean, it's becoming a cliche. I mean, tech, social media. I have a phone, so I'm in tech
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can go
Yeah.
through social media and stuff like that. So, but
Yeah.
a lot of people don't understand the inherent value of
Mm.
being in the tech space
Mm.
itself, not just being outside, being a spectator, or like being there.
Mm.
Being there, I mean, like having the tech skill. Like I think was it yesterday or today I was doing a video and I was talking about how having a tech skill can draw you into tech.
Mm.
Do you
Okay.
understand? Like you might start by just being a a computer operator. Like in my own case, I started as a computer operator.
Mm.
But what that did to me is that it drawed me into tech.
Mm.
One, because I had that mindset of curiosity. I was always curious to learn more and stuff like that. So when I was in that space, I saw that there was that a whole lot more that I could learn.
Mm.
Do you understand? So
Yeah.
if people can see the benefits or the opportunities that being in tech um, give them,
Mm.
it's just to look for the next simple tech skill and learn it, and that on its own will draw you deeper
Mm.
into the tech space. And when you are there, that's where you understand what is actually
Oh yeah.
going on, what is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you're listening, like you heard, tech is one of the industries that he feels like a lot of people are sleeping on right now. And we're projecting into the next 4 years, 5 years, and we are hoping that tech will do big things and great things. So if you're still sleeping on it, why don't you just wake up and pick up a tech skill? Right? Okay, so if you could advise people to pick up a skill in today's world, what would it be and why?
Hmm. So that's a very smart question as well, because I was even thinking about doing a video where I will talk about test skills that people can learn
Mm.
and why those test skills are important, or the test skills I'm currently learning,
Oh yeah.
or why I feel they are important. So I think the one skill I will advise people to learn, that because this skill is not really a technical skill,
Mm,
which means anybody can learn the skill,
mm,
right? I would have said coding, but coding is kind of technical. Not everybody can learn it, no matter how you preach it. Not
mm,
everybody can learn and succeed
mm,
in coding.
mm.
So the number one skill that I think people should learn, and I will explain why, is writing.
Okay.
Yes, writing. You will say,
Okay.
what is writing? I mean, how how is writing a skill, and how I will explain. Now, I want you to think about what it is that is not connected to writing.
Mm,
Writing is one thing that has remained constant for ages,
yeah.
ages upon ages.
Yeah. Yeah.
Writing has been the way where generations pass message across to the next generations.
Mm,
I mean, the scrolls that we know, the scrolls of the old ages,
yeah.
it was writing.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
So
Yeah.
what it is that you want to, what is that thing that you want to do today that does not really originate from writing?
Mm,
Is it scripts writing,
mm,
the movie that we watch, or the
yeah.
music that we listen to, the lyrics?
Yeah.
Is it the content that we see nowadays on social media?
Yeah.
Is it the books that we read? Is it like when we go to school, the lecturers that come to teach us, they first of all write their thoughts on paper.
Mm,
So what, like I want to hear that thing that doesn't really um that does not like
involve
originate from
in
writing. I
writing.
mean, look at the
Yeah.
product that we have, the product stickers that we have.
Yeah.
Everything is from writing. All the nice graphic design you look at
They're all
is still
writing.
writing.
Yes.
But what people don't really understand is how you can make money with writing.
Mm,
So that's why it doesn't really make sense to people. I mean, what is writing? I do writing every day, but writing there's another level to writing.
mm,
So writing is one skill that I'm currently trying to perfect, like try to perfect on, like trying to build
build.
myself on.
Yeah.
Something that I've led for a long time, but I'm beginning to start, nurturing that aspect of my life, because I know it's going to be very important now and in the near future. Talking about 5 years, 10 years,
Mm,
writing is not going away. So if you are looking for something that you can do, you can be a copywriter,
mm,
you can be a technical writer,
mm.
you can be a content creator. You cannot really be a good content creator without
Without.
like writing, because writing is about persuasion. You need to know how to persuade people, because writing is about arguments. Somebody brings an argument, you bring persuasion, like you talk about something and you talk about the argument why what you are talking about is what is better than what someone else
Then
is
what?
talking about.
Yes.
So
Yes.
whole writing is about persuasion, how to like persuade people.
Mm,
Public speaking is writing. I mean, you cannot just go on stage without first of all writing
drafting.
stuff that you want to talk about, how you want to
Yes.
talk to your audience, how you want to persuade them. So I mean, if I should choose one skill I would advise people to learn, it's writing.
Mm. That's actually quite impressive. I think that based on what you said, and when I asked you the question, I was hoping that you would say tech. But now that you said writing, I think yes, that's it. That's it actually. That is one skill that everybody should learn and go into writing. So there's been a lot of controversies. But before I go into that, do you think that um, the noise, let me put it that way, the noise about learning to code, do you think it is being overemphasized? Because when we go on social media these days, every tech bro on social media is telling us why we should learn how to code. Coding is the new future and all of that. So, do you think that the noise about it is being overemphasized? Should everybody learn to code?
Yeah, I think that's a very thought-provoking question. Yeah. So I think it's actually relative, depending on the angle you're looking at it from,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
But if you ask me, I think coding is a very important skill. I think a few days ago, I actually released a video around why people should learn coding, right? So I think, in my own opinion, I think coding is a very important skill to have or something to learn.
Mm.
But it's not that mandatory. Like I said earlier, it's not for everybody,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
But I think there are a lot of things, there are a lot of dimensions that coding exposes you to, right? So um, if you learn how to code, you have that like superpower to create stuff that you like to create. I mean, we are living in a world where software drives everything.
Yes.
I mean, social media software,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Artificial intelligence software.
Yeah.
So name it. I mean, your phone's software.
Mm.
So, and coding is part of how you build software,
Mm. Okay.
right? So I think it's a very important skill that if you can learn it, but it's not really a must. Because this how I think about skills when I talk when I talk about people should learn skills. I'm talking about sustainability.
Mm.
So over time, I've realized that the power tech has that power to remove people from poverty quicker than any industry can do.
Mm.
I might be wrong, but that's my belief, right? Tech has that power to remove people from poverty. So whenever I talk about learning tech skill, I'm actually talking about giving yourself an opportunity to make more money to help yourself and your family,
Mm.
right? So if that is the driving force towards learning a skill, then coding is not really that important because there are other tech skills you can learn that are not coding that can still help you achieve that sustainability goal.
Okay.
Do you understand? So
Yes.
the goal is career sustainability.
Mm.
When I talk about career sustainability, I'm talking about everything, like most especially money aspect.
Mm.
I don't want to be in a career where in the next 2 to 3 years I'm being obsolete.
Mm.
I'll start looking for the next career to join. Do you understand my point? So,
Yes.
but coding has proved over the years that it is one skill that you can learn and you can be there for years because
Mm.
technology runs everything. Software runs everything right now. Like we're in the software age and software runs everything. So if you have that skill, if you can build that skill of coding, like writing software, building software, it's going to help you even in the midst of artificial intelligence. Doesn't really matter.
Mm.
So that's why I usually encourage people to learn coding, but not necessarily means it's a must for everybody to learn coding. I mean, not everybody can be a coder. Not
Yes.
everybody can. So yeah, it's
Absolutely.
it's people can learn coding, but it's not really a must.
It's
So
not a must.
people
Okay.
can advise people to learn coding. So you can learn if you have the capacity to, but it shouldn't be a do or die affair.
Great. Okay. So there's been a lot of controversies about AI and
Mhm.
the future of jobs. A lot of social media content is telling us that there's going to be a time where the regular 9 to 5 would no longer be necessary because artificial intelligence is coming to take our jobs. So, what do you think about that?
Yeah. First off, I'm a big fan of artificial intelligence. I mean, it's one of the areas that I focus a whole lot more
Mm.
on when I do research, like personal research and personal study. So it's something that I I appreciate, and I would say these claims are not far fetched, right?
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence has the power and capacity to replace a whole lot of jobs, but it also has that capacity to bring billions of jobs as well,
Mm.
right? So now the
Brilliant.
caveat here is that there's what we call routine jobs. Routine jobs are jobs that repetitive tasks.
Mm.
I'm sorry to say if you're a secretary, but I'm not trying to shade you or something. But a job like a secretary, someone whose job is just to type letter for their boss and maybe book appointment for their boss and maybe search the internet for research. Those kind of job will be replaced by AI
Mm.
because these are the things that AI is good at. AI is good with content. AI is good with research. AI, there's a whole lot of things AI is doing right now. So if we hear people talk about AI replacing people's job, it's for real.
Mm.
AI has that power to replace people's job because what AI is doing is mind blowing. I mean, people can create images using AI. So, like in that context, you will say, why would I even need a graphic designer? I've read about a business person who let go of all his working force and leverage on AI.
Wow.
So, and he was able to save a whole large sum of money for doing that. So you cannot really blame the. He's a business person, of course. So
Yeah.
business people are always looking for ways to reduce costs
Yes.
in production, in processes. They're always looking for ways to improve costs, and that's what AI does for you as a business person. First of all, AI provides that capability or that environment to do things efficiently,
Mm.
which means you can you can like literally have one staff and get a lot of things done by leveraging AI.
Yes. Yeah.
So yes, it is true. AI will replace a whole lot of jobs, but AI will replace jobs or replace people who are not AI inclined. Do you
Yes.
understand what I mean?
Yeah.
AI will replace people who do not use AI.
Mm.
AI is only going to replace people who do not use AI. In as much as AI will replace plenty job, it will also create a lot of jobs.
A
I
lot
mean,
of jobs.
if you look back at history, there's what we're talking about is not really new. Forget about the whole artificial intelligence conversation. What we are
Yes.
discussing about is not really new. Like the discussion about people get replaced, people job get replaced and stuff like that. We have been hearing that like for ages, like for decades.
Yes.
So whenever there's a new technology, there's this fear that the technology that is coming will replace people's job. But that has not really been the case. We have seen technology coming and introducing more job. The only thing that's going to happen is that there's going to be the bar is going to be raised. Right now, as a virtual assistant, right? Because virtual assistant now is becoming a thing.
Mm.
Like it's becoming a career, like it's a career as a virtual assistant. It means you need to understand how to use AI if you want to be successful in your job. I talked about career sustainability. If you want to be able to stay in your job and be there for a long time, you need to understand how to use AI, how to use AI to make your job more effective.
Mm.
So the difference between you and someone who doesn't use the difference between you and who AI will replace is that the person AI is replacing probably does not use AI.
Yes. Mm.
Do you understand? So the whole discussion about AI replacing job is true. The
Yeah.
only thing that we need to do as individuals is to learn how to use AI and you know improve ourselves more and utilize AI as a tool to make our work more efficient.
Mm. Wow, that was very, very insightful. So, what do you presume AI would be like in, let's say, 10 years?
Um, so I'm not really an AI expert, but with the level of research I do regularly, and I follow a lot of AI experts
Yeah.
online, AI researchers, people who are at the top front of AI research. Now, just few days, I was just reminiscing with myself. I was like, I think there will be a need to talk about artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence. So, artificial intelligence right now, what we see right now, right? Um, we need for us to be able to predict the future. We need to like to some extent understand like history
Yes.
and maybe also understand the context that we are in or understand reality.
Yeah.
So artificial intelligence is usually grouped into two parts. There's what we call the narrow AI and the general AI. So narrow AI are AI systems or AI models that are good at performing one specific task.
Mm.
For example, writing. We have AI tools that were built to be able to write. Like ChatGPT has that capability of helping you create content,
Yes, it
right? You
does.
can go there and type, you can go there and you can write a letter and you can give it to ChatGPT to help you refine it,
Yeah.
remove all the jargons. It does
Yes,
that.
it
So
does.
these kind of tools they are referred to as narrow AI because their focus, their models have been trained to do specific tasks. They are like agents. We call them AI agents. They are trained to do one task and they will do it well. You see AI model creating images, do it well. But it is hard for you to see AI model that does like differently, like the way a human would do. Myself as a human, I have that intelligence, like that God-given intelligence to be able to read, understand, and create.
Mm.
You understand? I can learn, I can understand, and excel in different fields. But right now, artificial intelligence doesn't have that capability yet. But that's why we are head. That's where we are
That's where we're
headed.
headed.
So it is
Yes.
called artificial general intelligence. So artificial general intelligence is the type of um, AI that has the ability to be able to learn as a human, understand as a human, and work in a diverse domain. So which means I can be a writer, I can be a coder, I can be a doctor, diagnosing people's medical issues. That's what AGI promises to do,
Mm.
and that is the level of that's like the future of artificial intelligence. Whether we are going to get there, nobody knows
Nobody
yet.
knows.
Whether we are there now, nobody knows yet.
Nobody's.
Because just recently, OpenAI released a new model referred to as the strawberry model or the O4 model, something like that. So that particular model, I think it's on ChatGPT already. That one actually, the model actually does thinking it like you it does that thinking process just like a normal human being. When you give it a task to do, it goes through that thinking phase,
Mm.
articulating how to solve the task, and it shows you how it went through that thinking phase.
Wow.
That's like mind blowing. So people are beginning to say, are we already experiencing AGI?
Mm.
Because when you talk about AGI, we're talking about artificial intelligence that can think, that
Oh.
can maybe feel.
Oh,
Do you understand?
wow.
So
Yeah.
it's actually mind blowing. It's a very very it's a very very dreaded space to be a dreaded conversation. But
Mm.
there's a potential that we will eventually get to artificial general intelligence in the future, because talking about open AI, what you are doing, talking about Facebook, what you are doing, talking about Google, talking about all those big guys in the industry, everybody's pushing the bar just to be able to do something out of this world. And so to answer your question, yes, the future that we are seeing in artificial intelligence is actually artificial general intelligence.
So let's say that you weren't in your current career path. What would you be doing?
Oh god, that's like a personal question, to be honest. I mean, I'm one of those kids then that used to tell their parents, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a medical doctor. But I don't think I would have been doing that if I'm not if I'm not in tech. So but ideally, what I think I would have been doing, maybe playing professional football,
Mm.
or maybe into music, because at some point I loved rap music.
Yes.
I was I
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was I was writing raps and stuff like that. So I'm a music person myself. So maybe I would have gone in that space. Right now I do music, but I don't do music for. I do gospel music. I'm a drummer, but I don't do it for the sake of money and stuff
Mm.
like that. So if I was not into tech, maybe I would have been um, I would have been a professional footballer, maybe doing music, or maybe like doing business full time. So yeah.
Mm. Okay. One quick question: who is your favorite Nigerian artist?
Everyone Nigerian artists. Uh, so my own taste. You mean like musicians?
Yes.
Or
Yes. Yes.
so yeah, my own taste of music is quite different.
Mm.
I love a lot of hip hop music, right? So, and also I'm usually very picky when it comes to lyrics. So
Yes.
I tend not to listen to any other type of music because what goes into my system matters to me. So at the same time, I love Afrobeat. So if I want to like list my musician based on or my favorite artists based on those music genre, I would say from Afrobeat, my favorite artist is um, Burna Boy, right? Because I mean, to some extent, Burna Boy's lyrics are decent. You
Yeah.
know, he touched on realities of life, touch on history, touch on the whole black movement as a whole, African and stuff like that. So his music is very good, very good musician.
Mm.
Then talk about hip hop. Mi Mi
Mm.
will be my top artist when it comes to hip hop. I mean, in Nigeria and maybe in the
All
whole
over the
world
world.
at large, because
Yeah.
his lyrics are very good. You know, punchlines top notch. Talks about the realities of life. You know, in music, his music has helped a lot of young people to find themselves. You know, so yeah, those are.
Yeah.
I would have said when it comes to Afrobeat, I would have also added
Ajibo
Ajabo Hustlers,
Hustlers.
but most times some of their lyrics are not really, they're not really like that.
Yeah. I think that's a very good pick. Nice choice. So, how do you define success?
Hmm, hmm. That's a very interesting question, and I don't want to be caught in the middle of an ongoing debate of how people define success. But how so? I would define success from the perspective of God,
Hmm.
right? And that's
Interesting.
how I think I can define what I think success is. So I will look at success from the lens of God. So I believe every man was created with a purpose,
Yes.
right? Every man
Absolutely.
has a like God created everybody for a purpose. In as much as God created the world for his purpose, everybody inside the context of the world has their own assignment that connects to the bigger picture of why God created the world.
Hmm.
So for me, that's what I judge success with, right? So for me, having a house is not being successful. Having 20 cars is not being successful. Having $1 billion in your account as a Nigerian is not being successful.
Hmm.
So what I think success is when you have been able to achieve your God's given purpose.
Hmm.
Let me give you an instance. God God might have created you to be a blessing to people like younger generations. Like he must have created you to be there at the grassroots talking to people, helping them to be better. That might be your
Yep.
calling.
Yeah.
But just because of the fact that maybe you are successful in your career, in your business, and you have a lot of money, and you think, I've arrived. No,
Hmm.
that's like the word, like that's
Definition
what
of
the world
success.
see as success. But for
Yes.
me, that's not what success is.
Hmm.
Success is not. I mean, what you have doesn't really bring you happiness. You can have a whole lot of money, you can have a whole lot of properties, but at the end of the day, you're still not happy.
Hmm.
So will you say will you say you are successful when you are not really happy? Because what I pray for is to be at peace, to be happy. Whatever God gives me, whatever state I find myself, whatever season or time I find myself is to be at peace, to be happy. So I cannot really say success. I cannot really say I'm successful when I'm not happy, even when I have all there is to have as a human being.
Hmm.
You understand? So my whole definition of success is like achieving your God's given purpose. If it's your purpose to be a missionary, like go out there to reach out to the poor, if you can achieve that, then you are successful. Even if you die being poor.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Hmm.
Even when you die being poor, even if I'm a person that does not believe that anybody should die being poor, but that's what success means. So it's not really about what you get
Hmm.
in the physical, because at the end of the day, we'll all die and leave those things behind, right?
Hmm.
Those things are good. They makes you comfortable. I mean, I believe money is a tool. So the reason why I like to make money, or why I'm pushing to make more money, because I know that money can help me to achieve my purpose faster, because it is a tool in my hands.
Hmm.
Money is a tool in my hands. I can use money to most time buy time. I use money to most time buy resources.
Hmm.
You understand? So my own definition of success is achieving God's purpose for your life.
Hmm.
Part time.
quick question to the listeners. Have you found your purpose? And what do you think success is to you? Think about it. It's just a food for thought. Okay, so tell us, how do you balance staying ambitious um, and enjoying your current position?
Yeah, that's also a very interesting question. So I'm someone who believes there's always more to achieve. There's more to everything. So as long as um, as long as my purpose here on earth has not been fulfilled, there's always more to press towards to, or there's always more to achieve. So I always have that at the back of my mind, and but again, I don't put too much pressure on myself, right? Because over time, I've understood that every day comes with time. Time is like the definer of a whole lot of things that happens in life. So everything comes with time, but you just have to do what you got to do and wait for the perfect time, right? So yes, I on a daily basis I try to make sure that I improve on myself, because there's this philosophy that I believe is called the opportunity cycle. So the opportunity cycle is this is like my personal philosophy. The opportunity cycle is God blesses you based on the opportunity scale that you have per time. So I think the better way to explain the opportunity scale is by using like vessels, containers as an example. So a cup, what a cup can hold, like the contents that a cup can hold is different from the contents that a jug can hold. It's different from the contents that a bucket can hold. It's different from the content that you can see like the scale goes up. So you have streams, you have rivers, you have sea, and you have ocean. So imagine that currently my opportunity scale is just a bucket, which means there's more God wants to give to me, but I'm not
You're not
there yet.
ready for.
I'm not there. I'm not like ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's me being ambitious. Me being ambitious doesn't really mean like I will do anything to get money, or I'm not really satisfied with what I have. I'm satisfied with what I have, but I have the understanding that there's more God wants me to be that where I am today. So I'm calm. I'm thankful for what I have. I enjoy the moments, but I press forward every day to that higher scale of opportunity, so that when that opportunity comes,
You'll be
I'm
ready
prepared
for
for it.
it. Yeah, that's a good one. So tell us about one decision in your career that's changed everything.
That decision is not to give up. When I started my career, um, like I mentioned earlier, I started as a computer operator in a cybercraft, like in a local cybercraft. And but the funniest thing was I was looking beyond that space. You know, I always I mentioned
The bigger
the bigger
picture.
picture.
Yeah.
I was actually looking like beyond that space. I always saw that space as a way to learn and to improve. Like, you know, I just felt something was so strong in me that you're on the right path. Just remain. You understand? Just remain. Like I always knew. Like I always knew like the Holy Spirit was, remain. I know it was God. So I think one decision that I've made that have skyrocketed my career is the decision not to quit. There was a time where I was learning something and it was not really working out. I mean, I was learning, but it was not really working out in the sense that, I'm learning this stuff. I've done what what I was supposed to do, but I'm putting it into practice. It's not working. So what is going on? Do you understand? So,
Yeah.
like I was struggling with myself. I was struggling with like that mental struggle. I was struggling. So at that point, I will never forget this. I will never forget this experience in my life. If I will forget anything, I will never forget this experience in my life. So at that point, I took a pause for like a whole week. I didn't do that thing. I didn't learn. I was actually learning HTML at that time. You understand? So I could remember vividly what I was learning that time was the HTML or the CSS box modeling. So the CSS box modeling is what actually allows you to understand the whole structure of a web page and how to design a web page to make it responsive and all of that. That was what I was learning at that time. You understand? So at at a point, I felt stuck because it was as if what I was learning was not entering. Something was just discouraging me, like, bro, this thing not be for you. Just drop this thing and focus on your graphic design. This whole HTML or programming not be for you. No be, you will kill yourself. I was struggling with that. Like, so for a whole week, I didn't do it. So for that whole week, I was just reminiscing with myself, and something like after a week, something just told me, go back to that stuff. You don't need to give up, and that was like the break.
Wow.
I mean, that was like the break to everything. So after that experience, I saw every other challenge as a way to break. So if I face any challenge, I don't fidget, I don't give up. I just give myself time, then come back to it. And so that decision of not giving up is the most important moment in my career
Wow.
and in my own life, like, because my whole life is tied to my career somehow. What I've become wouldn't have been possible if not for my career or the career that I choose to follow.
Yeah.
What I've become, this person, wouldn't have been possible. Maybe I would have been somewhere doing something else. But that's why it's very significant for me. You understand? So
Yeah.
I cannot really separate my life from my career at this point. So you get, so that moment was a break that actually changed everything.
Wow. Wow. So I noticed that you've recently started like branching out into a bit of content creation. So what would you say were the drive behind that?
So that's a very that's a very good question. Yeah. So I mean, I believe in the power of doing. So I'm in a space where I have the opportunity to like have insight as to what is going on in the technological space that most people might not know, or most people might not understand. But I, to some extent, I have that privilege, and that's one thing people don't really understand. Like, being in tech really gives you, not necessarily like being in tech, but if you are that person that is curious about what is going on, like what is going on, what is happening generally, you get to put yourself at the forefront of things. So for myself, being in tech has given me that opportunity to be able to like know what's actually going on, like in depth, that most people might not understand. So why I decided to go into like content creation, there are numerous reasons, right? So I'm this kind of person that used to be in my share. I know I have this gift of teaching
Yeah.
and this gift of like in, impacting people. I know I have that gift. That's like my God's, that's
Given
my
gift.
calling.
Yes. Mm.
You understand? That's my calling, like the calling of inspiring people, impacting people with knowledge or resources. I have that calling. That's my calling. That's what I'm pursuing in life. You understand? So, but I have been in this space where, I prefer to stay on my own, be by myself, do what I want to do, make my own money, and just be there. But until I stumbled on what is referred to as the creator economy, it changed the whole, it changed like how I see social media. It changed how I see marketing and sales. So content creation for me is a strategy. It's a brand strategy. It's a business strategy. And it's a way for me to position myself in the creator economy. There are numerous benefits. Like, a lot of people, they are doing content creation for the benefit of maybe getting paid by all these platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you do short videos, hoping that one day your videos will go viral and you have a lot of views. That's like basically what encourages people to do content,
Yeah.
right? But for me, it's quite different. I'm not saying I'm not aware of those benefits, but for me, it's quite different. So I see social media, especially, as a way for me to achieve my God's given purpose. You understand? I see it as a way to tell my story. I believe God took me through the things He took me through for it to be a blessing to other people that are going through the same thing I went through. You understand? So content creation is a way for me to solidify that that calling. It's a way for me to express it. One, two, it's a way for me to like sell myself as a brand. You understand?
Yeah,
So
very important.
I have a lot to offer when it comes to technology, when it comes to personal development, when it comes to consulting, when it comes to business. So the quickest way for you now, in the age that we are in, the quickest way for you to, people don't understand, the quickest way for you to to excel whatever you do is personal branding. Gone are those days where you go to, gone are those days where people, organizations like ask you for your CV, bring your CV, I want to see what you are good at. It still work, but we are transitioning away from that age where people get to submit CV here and there. What people are looking for right now are people who are leaders in their industry, leaders in their space, people who can speak on what they do. That's what I mean. We all know the influencer, the how the influencer economy has skyrocketed. Somebody, just because somebody has like 1 million followers, you see them rubbing shoulder with ambassadors, rubbing shoulder with
Yeah.
governors.
Yeah.
That's how powerful personal branding is. Why do you think these people, that these so-called rich people like Tony Elumelu, or all of them, or even international actors or international musicians, why do you think they still do content regardless of the resources that they have amassed? Is personal branding strategy. Like how do you want people to see you? Like what do you want people to know you for? Like when you see me, like what comes to your mind? Who is this guy? If you don't know me personally, but when you see me outside there, like what comes to your mind? So that's what like drives my content creation. So it's a way for me to tell my story. It's a way for me to sell my brand. It's a way for, so when you do those things, it's a way for me to also learn. There's a whole lot. I mean, look at what you're doing, like this podcast and stuff like that. There's a whole lot that you learn in the process that people will not understand. A whole lot goes into what it is that you're doing that people will not understand. All these are raw skills that can make you money today. We talk about content creation, we talk about script writing, we talk about speaking, we talk about presenting. Everything is happening here. We talk about editing, we talk about, like, a whole lot is happening here that if you disassemble them, you see them at their own, their different skills standing on their own,
Yeah.
that you're trying to put together just to achieve what you're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing. I believe in the power of learning by doing. So as I'm doing this content creation, I'm improving areas, like the areas that I want to improve in myself, like public speaking, presentation, teaching, video editing, like storytelling, copywriting, writing. There's a whole lot of skills I'm learning while doing this. So I mean, my reasons are enormous, like why I do content. So I'm not really pressured about creating content every day. I only create content that I know will be beneficial to people. So it might be short video. I know people like short stuff, but I still try to do short videos. But I'm someone who likes to dig deeper, like write long form content, like go into that rabbit hole, understand stuff. So once in a while I write blogs as well. I recently started my YouTube channel, which I tend to like drop long form videos, and stuff like that. So these are just ways where I want to see how I can, achieve my God's given purpose, leveraging technology.
Wow. Indeed, you're doing really, really, really great things. So, with everything that you know right now, what advice would you give to your younger self, or would you have given to your younger self?
What advice? So that's um that's a very good question, right? And that's what I see myself doing every now and then when I have the opportunity to like sit with young people and maybe discuss. We talk about personal development. We talk about maybe career development and all of that and life generally. So if I'm to um, if I'm to encourage my younger self, these are the principles I will tell my younger self to hold on to, right? Number one is believe. Believe. Like believe in the sense that God will show you where He's taking you to. But the question is that do you
Do you
believe?
believe? Yeah.
Like a point in your life, a point like in every man's like everybody's life, like that flash will always come. Like this is like a potential place you can be. Like there's this saying that says you cannot feature in the future you have not pictured
Yeah.
of. It's one of those things that I would tell my future self to have believe though, believing that um, you're going somewhere, and while you're on that journey, there are things that you need to learn, right? So believe. Number two is hard work. So someone who still believes so much in hard work. Like I I believe so much in hard work. So regardless of that there are a lot of people that God has given talent and grace. Yeah, but you can never go wrong with hard work. Not just being working hard immensely, but
Work, smart
smart work.
work.
So
Yeah.
you need to be hardworking. Like, if you believe, like if you believe on something, maybe God have should learn this thing and believe on it, then be hardworking. Like diligence, right? Be hard work, be diligent, then service oriented. A lot of people, a lot of people think this was something that I learned a very long time, like being service oriented. Like when I mean service oriented, I mean you might be working for somebody, but you are actually working for yourself. Regardless if somebody employs you, doesn't really matter. You are working for yourself. Like the Bible say that you are working for God as though you are working for man, but like, I can't really like it. Like I'm just paraphrasing, right? Whatever you do, whatever you find yourself doing, know that you're not really doing it for that person that you are under.
Yes.
You are doing it for God, and most importantly, you are doing it for yourself. So give it your all. You understand? So that's one thing that really helped me. When if I track my journey, track the things how God has, you know, how God has helped me so far. I realized that yes, the place that I've worked, how my attitude towards work and stuff like that really, really, you know, helped me. Right. So what else? I think yeah, you have to be someone that you need to love reading. I mean, I don't know what's going on, but the world that we are in today, people don't really read. Something that really, I think reading is one of the things that helped me to cope. Even in that moment where I didn't really have any like father figure to look up to, or maybe run to for ideas or for advice. There was this moment where I was battling with myself, battling with my self-worth. It was books that left me out of that trap. Would have been disaster. Would have been like it would have been disastrous. I mean, it was books. So like yes, I cannot really sit here and like explain the benefit of reading. The benefit is glaring on its own. You get to tap from the experience and knowledge from people
Yeah.
that's gone ahead of you. So that really, that most time, like shapes your how you see life, and stuff like that.
Yes,
So I
perspective.
think lastly, there are a whole lot, but I mean, lastly is just to um, believe in God. I don't know whether you are a Christian or whatever religion that you believe in. You need to hold whatever you believe in strong. Me, I'm a Christian, so I believe so much, I believe so much in God and the power of God. So
Mm.
it's very important. Pray. Whatever you do, make sure you pray and ask for ask God for His guidance and all of that, and you'll be fine.
Wow. Yeah. So in just a few sentences, can you give an advice to the younger generation?
So so my advice to the younger generation would be embrace technology. Embrace technology. So embracing technology would mean um, learn a tech skill.
Mm.
I mean, not just for the benefit of making money, but for humanity, right?
Yeah, to be able to solve
Like
problems.
learn a tech skill and be be valuable to your community. When you learn a tech skill, I mean, you can contribute to humanity at large. You can contribute to your community. You can contribute to yourself.
Mm.
So I think one of my first advice to young people is to learn a tech skill. Number two is to be patient. A lot of young people these are not patient. People want it done like sharp
Like
sharp. I
quickly.
mean, like there's no staying power,
Mm.
and it's big. It's an issue. Like there's no staying power. People just want like sharp sharp. I mean, like as a young person, you need to be patient. Be patient. Like I mean, there's processes to everything. There's time for everything. A child that was born today, you cannot expect that child to start working tomorrow.
Mm.
That child has to go through a process. And through that process, what happens to that child is that the child learns from their mistakes. It, it makes them stronger and prepared for the next step. So, but what you see these days is that a lot of people are trying to cut corners.
Mm.
Like you cannot, even if you succeed on cutting corners, there's a repercussion. You have to return back to that spot that you think you have cut. Like that's not how God designed the universe. Everything has its time. So
Mm.
whatever phase you are in, whatever season you are in your life, like be patient, like embrace that season,
Mm.
learn from it, and be patient. Like prepare yourself for the next phase. Don't just jump. You said that you are looking for fast money. I mean, that's like would be one of the advice I would give to young people is to be patient. Be patient. And number two is focus is becoming a thing. Lack of focus is becoming a thing these days. I was just talking to myself last night. I was like, productivity. People are not that productive these days again because of a lot of distractions. Your phone, social
Mm.
media,
Yeah.
Netflix, I
Mm.
mean name it, everything is calling for your attention. So that on its own is making people not to be productive. I mean you see um, something that you do in 30 minutes, somebody doing is 3 hours because when you go here, distraction,
There's a
your
lot of
laptop on its own,
distractions. Yeah.
distraction. When you do something on your laptop, before you know, YouTube video will
A
pop up.
message pops up. Yeah,
So
and you're
I think
distracted.
people should be deliberate on what they consume on a daily basis, and because if you are not being productive, even if you are learning a skill, it will take you ages to perfect that skill. So focus is one attention they need to pay, like one area they need to pay
Pay
attention to.
attention. Wow.
So I think that would just be my
Thank you.
advice.
So, you're married, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So how do you balance love, personal space, and your career?
Yeah, I think that's another important question that I remember someone asked me like the last time because people 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 have this people have this impression that software engineers are usually not sociable, so
Mm.
to say,
Mm.
right? So I think that's the word the person used. So for me, first of all, I'm lucky because I'm married. I'm married to someone who understands me like a lot. So who understand my person, who understand the kind of work that I do. But then I don't take that for granted, right? Even if sometimes I used to find myself, wanting in that area where I get to do a whole lot of work with less um, with less family time.
Mm.
So it's really difficult to actually balance, but it's something that I'm being deliberate on every day. I still try to work towards it, because there's sometimes where the pressure that you get from work will come on you, and you just need to be alone in that space where because the kind of work that I do, you just need to be at a state of mind where you will be able to solve like complex problems.
Mm. Yeah.
So um, in that moment, it is called the flow state. Like before you can get into the flow, like the flow state is like a state where you are in your peak performance. Like you, everything is connecting for you. Like when you're working on a task. So it's called a flow state. And you can only get to that flow state by deep concentration and focus. So obviously you cannot concentrate when your child is jumping on top of
Yeah.
you here and there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it really is it's really there's really no solutions to it. It's just based on how you can really balance your work, how you can be more efficient. Like for me, I've learned to be even more efficient, even in this environment where you have children, you have your wife, you know, stuff like that. So which means the little time I have, I try to be as efficient as possible because I know the next minute someone can come and
Mm.
So yeah, so it's a learning phase for me. It's not like I've figured it out all yet. So
Yeah. Yeah.
if
Yeah.
I say that,
You're
I'll
still,
just be lying. So
you're
it's a
still in the
learning phase to
process. Okay. So yes, quickly before we go, I'd like us to play a game.
I don't like play games, so let me tell you up front.
Okay, so it's just a very simple game. I'll give you an idiomatic expression and you give me the meaning. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. So, only a fool tests the depths of a river with both feet. Translate.
Only a fool tests
The
the
depths
depth
of a river
of a river
with both feet.
with both feet. That's actually deep. So 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 first of all, why will you want to go and put your both feet in the river if to test the river? If I were to tell you, test with one leg now. Come on. I mean, so I think for me that means I would just say wisdom.
Mm.
That's how I'm interpreting it. Just to be wise, not everything that not everything that it seems is what it is. So just be wise. That's how I can interpret it. So don't go and be. Um, I think that there are a whole lot of ways to explain it, but I would just say
Mm.
wisdom.
Mm. Yeah, it's kind of close. This one says, do not leap into a situation without first thinking about the consequences. So before you jump into a situation, you think about
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
consequences. Yeah. So another one says, rain beats the leopard's skin, but it does not wash out the spots.
Rain beats the leopard skin, but does not wash out the spots. So I think for me, what that means is you are who you are, right? Challenges will come, right? You face challenges, but those challenges we. So I think the leopard skin right there now is what God has called you to be. For me, that's how I'm interpreting it. Yeah. So whatever you go through in life, whatever rain, whether it is heavy rain or stone rain, doesn't really change what God has called you to be. Sure you get. You will always get to that place that God has called you to be.
Okay, I have quite a different answer here. So I'm throwing it to you guys, the audience. What do you think the answer is? Drop it in the comment section while I go on to ask you another one. So another one says, do not call the forest that shelters you a jungle.
You know, call the forest
That shelters you
in jungle.
a jungle.
Okay, you should not call it a jungle or in the jungle.
No, you should not call it a jungle.
A jungle. Mm. Forest, jungle.
That shelters you. I think.
Forest that shelters you. So I think a jungle is more like where things happen, like where like um, things that we didn't plan for can happen. While like a forest is like a covering. So not calling a jungle a forest. A forest that
Forest.
shelters you. Nothing's coming to mind. I can't really.
Okay. Again, I'll ask you, the audience, if you know the answer, drop it in the comment section. So, thank you so much for being here. Before we go, would you like to tell us where we can find you across social media?
Sure. My social media handle. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube as well. So my YouTube um, um, channel is Destiny Ajakaiye official.
Okay.
Then my Instagram is Destiny Ajas. So Destiny then AJAX.
Okay.
The same thing with Twitter, Destiny Ajas on Twitter. Then I think for Facebook is Destiny Ajakaiye official. Yeah, basically. Then I have a blog, my personal blog, destinyajakaye.com. So that's where I basically talk. I write long form content and stuff like that. So yeah.
All right, thank you. So, guys, you've heard him. Let's do well to follow him across all social media platforms. And it's just going to be an avenue for you to hear more insightful conversations directly from him. Thank you so much for being here and for staying with us through this conversation. Please do well to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. I remain Atane Peculiar, and see you next time. Bye.